it fuses from the deck in the similar way that Branded Fusion does, and then you have Ketragina, which is kind of like Albion. I don't know why I'm making this parallel.
They all pay half your life points, right?
Yeah, so the gimmick is you pay half your life points to do anything in the deck. So it's very normal to end up with, like, you know, 63 life points and stuff like that. It's pretty common, actually.
And once you get down to 1, it's all free, right?
Yeah, because it rounds up, funnily enough. That's how life point. You don't get decimal point life points in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's always rounded up. Just if anyone needed some Dinomorphia rulings here.
And all the fusion monsters have effects that are better the less life points you have, right?
I don't know about better.
Yeah, they have one effect which sets your opponent's attack to, like,
sure, yeah,
your life points, and one effect that says any of your opponent's monsters that have more attack than your life points, their effects are negated. So when you only have 1 life point, that's a lot of monsters.
What spell is that? Fossil Dig.
It is Fossil Dig. Well, it is a dinosaur deck, so
yeah, you can play Fossil Dig, and you're not searching Overraptor in this one. No. Sorry, we were really excited about that Dinomorphia turn, the Dinomorphia deck, rather. We missed the Labrynth turn. So I think that was that a Chandragleer discarding Backjack for a welcome?
And then Backjack, so cool, this card. Used to send it with Fiend Griefing back in the day. You know, send your Fiend and return a card from your opponent's deck to the extra deck, from the graveyard to the deck. Yeah,
and then you get your Scarm Search, and
no, you send Backjack. That's the point.
Oh, you send Backjack.
Yeah, and then
true.
Right. Yeah, you look at the top 3.
Oh, you know, you've got options, of course. So, Theritzia, I believe, is the normal summon here. Searching for... It probably would have been Domain. It also sets from deck, so which is kind of cool. You can't Ash it. And it looks like we are going to do a classic set 5. 5? 5? Come on, go for 5.
Labrynth, the Labrynth player right there. You set 2, I'm going to set 4.
It's really cool that the Backjack effect essentially just stacks your deck in that way, because you can, in the end phase, use the Backjack, excavate the top card. You know what it is because you check the top 3. Then you set it, and then you get to, like, draw for turn. So, like, you get to, like, see your next draw as well in the process. So it's a good way to plan ahead. Yeah, that's a big welcome, which is really cool.
You got to remember to do it before you use your
before shuffling.
Yeah.
But this is really strong here because you can go welcome. Is that just regular love we're going for?
That's
we
lovely.
had the field spell as well.
Yeah, the field spell.
I didn't even notice.
So the monster gets popped, and then you get to trigger all of your Labyrinths, which triggers when a trap causes a monster to leave the field. Yeah,
this is, like, really huge because not being able to, like, use your traps until the following turn when they're alive means that they can essentially all just get sniped this turn. So you got welcome popping 1. And then Lady is most likely going to pop... Sorry, Lovely is going to most likely pop another one by bouncing with this big welcome we set off of the Backjack. Backjack does say you can use the trap that turn as well. So it's, yeah, really good synergy with this. I think this is probably going to be somewhat similar to top 4 of Indianapolis, actually. We saw Worlds competitor Raymond Dye actually taking this deck all the way... it might have been top 8, actually. Yeah, it was top 8. And with a very similar playstyle. I think it was using the Backjack.
Decking Dimensional Barrier?
Yeah, I think it's probably a good card to main deck. Maybe at 1, but he is trap checking for it. Yeah, especially in this matchup, you just, like, you know...
Because you can reset it with Lovely as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's... Labrynth being able to reset, like, things like D-Barrier is genuinely incredible. But yeah, the Backjack sort of acts as, like... You wouldn't really think of a trap deck as, like, you know, something that can play too much on your opponent's turn. You know, turn 0, rather.
I was going to say, traps are supposed to be played on the opponents. I don't know what, you know.
But you can do a lot... Ooh, okay, we got a Super Poly in the main phase here. Okay. But yeah, the idea behind this is that you have a lot of these, the furniture, as people like to call them, you discarding the Backjack, which then gives you a live trap on that turn. So you're playing a lot on your opponent's turn just with trap cards, but, you know, before setting them.
I like the, you know, you got the Dimensional Barrier, but you can't Dimensional Barrier that Super Volley. No.
I mean, you could, like, preempt it. Like, I mean, I guess you just chain it. Yeah. It's Super Poly. You could argue in some ways, like, has mostly been relevant because rather than, like, the clearing effect is, like, just because you can't respond to it is what makes it so strong after all of these years. I don't think you agree.
Oh, I mean, I just like fusing my opponent's monsters. I was just trying to figure out, does the Labrynth let you destroy spells and traps as well?
Yeah, you just destroy a card when you activate a welcome.
So I thought it was a monster, but maybe...
I think you can destroy anything with Labrynth.
Yeah, I was wondering it to myself, like, should you Solemn Judgment the Welcome Labrynth? I mean, I don't know. I guess it's hard to tell. Your opponent got it for free, so.
You mean like the activation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is awkward, but paying half your life points doesn't really mean anything, I suppose.
You want to pay half your life points.
The lower your life points are, the better, because your boss monster Rexsturm relies on your opponent's monsters being negated based on your attack points and above. So if you have like 1 life point, your opponent can't use anything with 1 attack or higher, as an example. A set Welcome Lab.
Oh yeah, you can destroy a card on the field. Yeah, that's really powerful, isn't it?
And I believe Lovely also like synergizes really nicely, and your opponent can't respond to your normal traps as well. I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean the dimensional barrier is still there as well. So
yeah, I think like the barrier by itself is. So yeah, as mentioned, if you're just joining us now, Justin is going to be playing Dinomorphia versus Ben Simpson's Labrynth. Most likely, will be opting to begin going first with Dinomorphia. Do you think there's any blind second Dinomorphia?
It seems odd that a deck that wants to set a bunch of traps would go second, but you never know.
My heart always like skips a beat when I see his fossil decks. It looks like grass to me. that grass looks greener. It's jump scare every single time. But anyway, this is a really good start. You just need Theritia. You really want this to resolve though, so that's unfortunate. No Miscellaneousaurus in the hand either to protect. Maybe we would have hard drawn it though. 3 set cards means we could potentially still have access to our fusion. What is that? That's a sphere mode?
He's not using sphere mode in the end phase, don't worry.
No, I know, but like...
I think he just like hid the... he just put the furniture piece in the graveyard very quickly.
Yeah, no. That's not what I'm confused about. Like,
oh, you're confused why it's been side decked?
Yeah.
Maybe it's so you can discard it with your Stovey Torby.
Discard fodder. Well, it could be anything at that point. I guess, like, okay, so I think the logic is, like, it actually does kind of make a little bit of sense. Because if you get your full fusion setup, in some ways I could actually argue maybe he should have kept the Imperm and just let this resolve. Because you will have Theritia into Kentragina, into Rexsturm, and then if all 3 of those are in the field, then yeah, you can just use your sphere mode.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea whether I'd want sphere mode or not. It does seem a strange choice, but maybe he knows what he's doing and he's seen it all before.
I appreciate it. I think there's a lot of confidence involved with siding sphere modes, right? Like you have to be very definitively positive that like my opponent will have 3 monsters at some point. This is really good here as we go for... Ooh, okay, we've got a Imperm down on Ariana. Chaining, I think that's Frenzy, right? I believe that one is Frenzy. Similar type of ordeal here, just fusion summoning from the deck. Paying half a life as well, of course.
Yeah, I know that they all like pay half your life to fusion summon, and some of them fusion from the extra deck, some of them fusion from the deck, graveyard, but I'm not sure which one's which.
So basically, they all fuse from deck, the trap cards, but you can also like send one from the extras. We've seen here we're sending Stealth Bergia. I believe Stealth Bergia is has like a bonus grave effect. I think it like protects you from burn damage or something. Because you might be wondering against something like Dinomorphia. Oh well, surely you just like activate a firecracker or something.
Activate sparks to win the game.
Literally, yeah. you can't just do that. But they actually have a lot of protection against specifically that. Just in case, you know, you were looking to do some burn damage.
If you would take, 10 damage.
Yeah, exactly. They do have a lot of protection against that. You know what's really funny? I've always wished that the Chandragleer and Stovey Torby could send from hand or field. You can do things like dodging Imperm.
That would be super cool.
That's,
that would be they can send themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Field, but
so the idea with like something like Skill Drain, which is usually somewhat popular in Labrynth, is you can still use some of your furnitures like even under the Skill Drain, which works nicely. So,
you think the Labrynth deck needs a little bump?
Not quite, no. Because you can play around that anyway, because you have Big Welcome in the grave. Use that, summon Ariana, activate the effect, and then bounce it, and then trigger the field spell. Like it's there's still a lot of anyway. Skill Drain aside, we have a different kind of Skill Drain on the field right now. That is the Kentragina, paying half the life to copy the Frenzy, or Domain, sorry, I mixed them up. But yeah, essentially you do get into Rexsturm, and now Justin has kind of the full setup here somewhat, and do you think he's maybe regretting discarding that sphere mode now, by the way.
Well, Ben...
We did use our normal summon, I guess.
Yeah. You'd have to choose what you think's more important out of your normal summon. Maybe the Ariana was completely necessary.
Yeah, so the life points are really important here because this threshold has been met against the Lovely and Lady. Since they have over 2,000 attack, which is Justin's life points, they will be negated. And it's also a real issue to get over. Rexsturm, I think, also has like a battle step effect as well, which allows you to like pay half and then like reduce your opponent's attack points. So it's a real like powerful boss monster to deal with. Now, one thing that Justin needs to try and deal with here is the field spell. Labrynth is going to be a really powerful component for Ben, because just being able to remove cards is how you can deal with Rexsturm. Monster effects, you know, really weak against Rexsturm. Spells and traps, not so much.
Yeah, this does seem to be an issue because it negates all your opponent's monster effects, but Labrynth can destroy cards without using monster effects, which is quite unique, I'd say, among other decks in the meta at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, in terms of the, you know, matchups, I'm sure Justin will probably have built his deck, you know, somewhat relevantly for Snake Eye, and Labrynth is maybe, you know, complete sort of polar opposite playstyle. And, you know, as mentioned, Rexsturm can kind of suffer against that type of spot removal.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be so much advantage if we resolve this, right? You get to destroy, you get to trigger the other effect of Ariana, you get to add back like 2 or 3 monsters. It's going to be quite a lot.
Yeah, a lot to deal with.
Although Ben's chosen not to destroy the face down, which is fair enough. You get to destroy on resolution as well, which is like crazy.
With the welcome? Sorry, the Labrynth?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a mid-chain resolution. It's so powerful. It's something that always catches people out as well because, you know, things like non-targeting works in a very similar way. Cards that resolve on resolution, cards that do something meaningful on resolution can catch people out a lot because, you know, you don't think you need to chain anything, and then suddenly a card that you would like to keep is now being selected, I suppose, technically, not targeted. Yeah,
I mean, it's so much harder to respond, like, in the way that you want to. Like, if your opponent targets one of your cards with infinite impermanence or something, you can chain to send it away or, you know, anything like that. Whereas, in this case, you have to wait and let your opponent choose, so you can't really do anything about it.
New threshold has been met here by Justin as another 50% of life points eliminated, down to 1,000, which means now even your normal summons like Ariana will be prevented from activating against Rexsturm here. Just being able to pay half to fuse and then pay half again to reduce. Just, again, keep dipping those life points lower and lower, which is exactly where Dinomorphia wants to be.
That's a good way of playing a Dinomorphia, and, you know, your opponent attacks, you say, you fool. You've made all of my cards more powerful.
Yeah. You know, if Justin does end up in the player interview seat, I gotta ask, like, what the time solution is for Dinomorphia. Because it must be a real genuine concern, right? Like playing a deck that just pays half every single play.
What's that old card? Life Equalizer?
Yeah, like swap them around or something, right?
Well, you make them both set as 3,000.
It's currently forbidden, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't use that anymore, but would have been cool.
Self-destruct button, not quite in the format. Right, so whose turn is it? It's a trap deck sometimes it's playing on each other's turns so much.
Yeah, it's Justin's turn. I think he entered his battle phase and attacked, and we saw a welcome.
Yeah, so we've got half the life points paid down here to reduce everything. Let me just bring up Rexsturm again to make sure that we got this battle effect down. But yeah, it's a case of just trying to clear up the rest of the field here on Justin's part. And yeah, having these like huge boss monsters in play with the new search, I believe, of Theritzia there. I think that might have been Sonic or Intact, which is essentially just protection. It's I think he went for, oh wow, okay, we've also got super polymerization. Just Starving Venom maybe. Don't need too much of your extra deck. You got lots of space in here, so check it to see what he's gonna go for.
Yeah, it's quite important. What do we think that last trap card could be for Ben? So if it's something like a Daruma Cannon, this could really put the brakes on the game.
Oh, Garura for double attack. This duel really is just multiples and divisibles of 2, huh?
You start having to do a lot more arithmetic, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we've got... That's a crash, right? 16, I think, on Theritzia? Oh, no, we have the Ariana, of course, so... Yeah. So Therita clears this. We got 3,000 from the Garura, 3,000 from the Rexterm, plus the 76, and yeah, that's the point here as we try and find out who our winner will be for this round 3 feature match of the United Kingdom's National Championship.
Oh, that's a shifter.
Shifter immediately chained by Stovey into backjack.
I mean, shifter is kind of annoying for the Labrynth deck, but it feels like it's not annoying enough to, like, justify it.
I wouldn't play it. Like, arguably, you could play shifter in Labrynth to deal with, like, Snake Eye, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely a card that's kind of like a nuisance rather than a...
It does stop, you know, you're doing too much. You can't do, like, coup clock things, but if your opponent's willing just to chill, just set a couple of traps. I mean, this is really what you don't want to see. The Stovey into the backjack.
And in this specific instance as well, where we have the quick play to chain, it's, super powerful here. Okay,
oh, is this Eradicator? No, okay.
Welcome, okay.
But we can get Eradicator.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to go, like, Welcome into Ariana for coup clock, set Eradicator, activate coup clock, eradicate the
traps.
All of Justin's traps, yeah. So.
But you could do spells, I mean...
Do you think so?
It depends how scared you feel of things like Lightning Storm.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's fair enough.
Traps has got to make sense.
He's going for, like, instantly, so Ben must be trying to go for some sort of standby play here. Is that big welcome first and foremost? No response to the big welcome. You get to chain Lovely. Sorry, Lady. I always mix their names up.
Yeah, that's Lovely and Lady. I think Lady also has Lovely in the name. I think one of them has both of them in the name.
Well, everything except Lovely and Lady. All of the Silver Castle, etc.
Is one of them the Lovely Lady of the Silver Castle? And one of them, I don't know.
I'm not sure. All right, so we are bouncing Lady. Everything is banished, of course, but by the Dimension Shifter, but it potentially might not matter here as we begin resolving Ariana. And Ariana can search for any Labrynth cards. Can't see the search here, but I would imagine it's Coup Clock.
Is Coup Clock a send or a discard?
Like, I don't...
It must be a discard.
It doesn't really matter, right? As long as it doesn't say... Well, I suppose it would say send to the grave for a cost.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be activatable.
Send it to the grave for a cost, then, yeah.
But yeah, you can use it here. Coup Clock is activated. Did we see what he said? It was Eradicator, right?
It must have been.
Yeah, okay. We're also going Welcome for Lovely.
I don't want to get rid of my Lovely.
Yeah, well,
oh, yeah, we're going to get rid of the Lady instead. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Down go the traps.
I feel like this is somewhat preemptive, right? Because what you can do is you can... Well, hold on a second. Because we can't hear what the players are saying to one another, but do you think he entered battle phase? Because he does have evenly matched.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be in the battle phase, it could be in the standby phase. You're right, though. You don't really need to do it in the standby phase if you're going to call traps.
Yeah, so like in ideal world, you just wait till your opponent sets 5, and then in the end phase you do all of these shenanigans, wipe out all 5 back row, and that's it. But
because you want to play around your opponent setting a trap directly from their deck as well.
Yeah. Aha! Okay.
No traps.
No, 1 trap.
Oh,
but this is exactly the issue, right? Because even though you get rid of the trap here, if you do it so early, you can't just normal summon Therita and then get another trap, right? Like, that's the issue.
I mean, I guess there was no real way for it to work, right? Because you're going to get Lightning Stormed or Super Polyed.
Yeah.
So if you don't do it in the standby phase, you get Lightning Stormed, and it's not happening either.
It's weird, right? Because you play around Lightning Storm, which is kind of what he's doing now, but then you kind of, maybe lose to some other option, right? Like, it's it was probably like the correct way in hindsight to play this, admittedly, but this is pretty strong still. Is that a Daruma cannon, I think?
I mean, Shifter plus Lightning Storm is really nasty because you can't really... There's no real way to...
There's no recursion.
Keep your resources afterwards.
Use the second one. Oh, wow, this is... This is disgusting.
Ben just out of cards now. He's lost a good chunk of his deck.
He's literally down to 0. He has nothing. This is like a custom going second Dinomorphia hand, by the way.
And
now we normal summon Therita.
Yeah, I mean, the hand is gone.
Is it Therita or is it Diplos? I think that's Diplos. Yeah, okay, unlucky. Can't be too good of a hand,
Because the deck only runs like one of each Lovely and Lady now, so...
I think you play 2 Lady, right?
No, I think one's pretty standard.
One lady?
Yeah, because you don't really need to draw it.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
I would play 2 lady personally, even in heavy trap versions. But yeah, wow, that's a full field wipe. We got some damage, but I guess Justin doesn't really have anything else here. I guess he's considering linking off. I'm not sure if Garura gets you the draw if it gets banished.
No, it has to be sent to the graveyard.
Right, yeah, so he probably just wants to leave that on the field for now, and then next turn get a draw if it lives. And
I mean, you could make Dark if he runs that.
Dark the Dark Charmer.
Get rid of that Stovey Torby from the grave.
Yeah, getting rid of Stovey's like pretty strong here. Okay, Chaos Angel, interesting. So a Dark Chaos Angel is what? Indestructible by battle, I believe? Light is what makes it unaffected, right?
Oh, I think there was a card in Ben's hand.
Well, it looks like Ben has just passed back here. So we're going to go Chaos Angel into attack mode.
There's no normal, so if he just left his field, he would have attacked. Would have been... Did he reveal his draw?
It's a set cards.
Yeah, you should reveal it.
Oh, and that's game!